Good afternoon and welcome to America's Home Cooking. We're making Toll House cookies and I'm actually going to call them, instead of using chocolate chip, I'm going to use vanilla chip in these and change the recipe to make it more nutritious. So we're going to be making cookies. Now something you have to know about cookies. Women, when they had their wood burning stoves and stuff, they had to sit there and check the temperature in the oven, but they had no way of really checking it. So when they went to do a cake or something, they'd take a little dab of the dough and put it in there, in a dish that could go into the oven. And they would clock it to test it if it was done or not. Good afternoon. So what's happened is that this is how they could tell. And from there, somebody thought about adding nuts and adding seasonings, and now we end up with cookies, okay, because of it. Now, when you cook cookies, because they are so delicate, you cannot leave your shelf. Just ignore how dirty my oven is right now. You'll probably say it's clean, but I'll clean it in the spring. All right, you have the bottom shelf here, right? When you broil, you go up here, right? You go to the top to be close to it, right? Most of the dishes that you have will be in the middle, all right? But cookies, because they're light, you have to take them up to what they call the 1/3 of the oven. They actually divide the oven in 3 sections. So you have the bottom third, and the shelves on the upper third, and then you have those middle shelves. What you have to do is take this and move it up to the third of the oven, like that. I just moved it up one shelf, which takes me into that area of the third of the middle of the oven. And that's what you need to do. If you leave it down there where they have it in the middle, you'll find out, that's because I already moved the shelf. If you have it in the middle here and you have the cookies there, they're going to be burnt on the bottom. All right? And if you sit there and go to use your broiler to toast your toast and you leave the shelf in the middle, your toast will be dry, but it's not going to be toasted. That's why you use by the broiler when you're broiling. So according where your shelf is in this oven is going to dictate what you're going to do. I always leave mine in the middle because most of my recipes are in the middle, but then I'll get one that'll say drop down lower or go up. And this is one that calls and requires for me to go up one. All right, now that we've got all that for all the you newbies who don't know how to cook that well, now you know why you have so many shelves. Kira, Kier, did I say that? Good afternoon. All right, so we're going to be making Toll House cookies, or better known as chocolate chip cookies, except I'm using vanilla chip because I can't have too much chocolate, and I just already had chocolate. Hi, James. So we'll start getting things together. I'm also going to be moving my mixer over here, which I really don't want to pick up. So we're going to have a lot. So we're going to preheat our oven. Now, ovens take at least 15 minutes to preheat. So that's why we preheat them when we're starting to do things. I don't always do it, which I should do, but you're supposed to preheat before you do anything. Any recipe you read, I bet you the first line on it will sit there and say preheat oven, whatever. Now you're going to need 2 cookie sheets and you're going to have to line them with wax paper or parchment paper. I'm using wax paper. It's easier for me. I don't want to deal with that parchment because it's so tightly curled. All right, now we're going to put the dry ingredients together and chop nuts and everything else. All the dry ingredients will be going into this bowl. All right, we need 2 1/4 cups. Now, this is the original recipe, but I'm going to be changing it, so I'm going to read the original and then tell you what I'm going to do. It says 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to add 2 cups of all-purpose flour and 1/4 of a cup of whole wheat, which will make sure we cover those vitamins and stuff to make sure we get them all at once and we don't have a health problem. So you can see how I'm doing. I change these recipes. You should be able to do it. And good afternoon, everybody. Jonathan, hi. Riley, hi. I was just starting to put recipes together for next week. Oh, I found some nice ones. I hope they come out. I'm going to have to buy some wine because I'm out of wine. See, I can be heavy-handed with whole wheat with my family, but I know a lot of people don't like whole wheat, so I try to show you how you can sit there and add different ones. Oh, good, Riley. Swap? Hi, how are you? Right, so we're going to add, I can't use that one, it's a fourth of a cup more I need. That's why I show you to add a little bit. Like the biscuits, you can't use 100% on biscuits. You have to ratio it out. That's why I was explaining it to you. I made whole wheat, but I only added a half a cup of whole wheat. You add any more, and the biscuits are just too heavy. So you have to compensate when you start using whole grains. And that's what I do for you to help you to understand. Okay, I'm done with this. Okay, what else do you want me to put in this? We're going to need baking soda, and we need a whole teaspoon of baking soda. Don't worry, this recipe does not use baking powder, so it's baking soda. I use so much baking soda throughout that is too much. Come on, level it off. You don't want to level off? It's lumpy in here, so it's going to give me some problems. Okay, 1 teaspoon. Okay, you want salt? We need a teaspoon of salt. So we're also going to be using a mixer today. I have a KitchenAid. All right, is this all you want me to put and hit this section? Whisk together. Okay. We'll whisk together. Hi, Timmy. I hope it brings warm thoughts to you, Timmy. You don't use whole grain. Hold on, Riley. If you're making sourdough, the cultures, you have to just use plain bread flour. But you don't use a sour, you don't feed it, except where you're making the bread. But to keep your cultures alive, you only feed it you only feed it bread flour. Because I take mine, I feed it bread flour, both of them, and then I make something. I'll add the grains and stuff after it's been proofed twice, then we add the others. So I am doing well, thank you, Swamp. Lydia, we're making, they call them Toll House cookies. You probably know them as chocolate chip, except I'm changing the recipe, making it more nutritious, and I'm making it with white chocolate because I just finished the chocolate fudge recipe that I gave you, and that was a lot of chocolate for me, and chocolate's high in caffeine, so I can't have it very often. So if I had these cookies right behind that, that would be too much chocolate at one time. So I'm going to change this recipe to make white chocolate chip cookies. Okay. So you're better than I, if you can do that, Riley. Yeah, it does sound good. All right. What do I have to do now? Okay, we're going to add 1 cup of chopped walnuts into this dry ingredients. You know why? So they will suspend around. Trying to stir them in when you're at the batter point is difficult. All right, so we need 1 cup of walnuts. Okay, I'm going to add a half a cup and chop it here on this small board. I always was taught to flour any fruits or nuts that you're going to put into a mixture because it'll suspend them throughout, even on cookies, because you could have them all down at the top. You have the dough on the top, but you'd have the cookies on the bottom. It's always wise to do this. Now these are not going to quite taste like chocolate chip because my nut pieces are bigger than theirs and they cut back on a lot of it. Another thing, these cookies will not be hard unless you sit there and leave them out on the rack, all right? And you can't leave them on the cookie sheet because you have more coming behind it. But they will not be as dry as they are when it comes to the ones you buy in the store. All right, that's a half a cup. Give another half a cup, and we will have it all done. And then we'll move forward. My sons are hounding me. What are we making this weekend? I haven't decided yet. I said I'm in my cookbooks trying. Hold on, I just have to read. So I want to see where they put the chocolate chips. Okay, we're going to put the vanilla chips into the dry as well. Okay. Where did I put that bag of chips? Okay. How many chips do you want? 2. So I'm going to use the white pre-made baking. Okay, scissors. We need 2 cups of the chips. Okay. You want 2 cups? Okay. Just making sure. I'm pouring them in right now. I always hate, I never. I'll taste things as they go in to see how they're going to come together. All right. Okay, we don't have much more to do. I got some work to do. We have to mix these. Yeah, I'm going to use white chocolate. I told you, things come into my mind and it's like, you know, what can I do? And I'm thinking about how I can change it and get things going. We're making cookies today. Vanilla chocolate chip cookies. I don't care about haters. I feel sorry for them. So Catherine, KB, staying... Simon. Anyway, so we got these done. I gotta bring the mixer over here, so I'm gonna slide things underneath your feet here and see what we can get going. Okay, just go over here. Get my mixer. I don't know if you can see in here or not at this point. I've also got you charging. All right. I tell you, I get ideas running through my head. All right, we're going to need 2 sticks of butter, and we're going to have to pack the sugar. Make sure your butter is room temperature. I left mine out all day since this morning. I might have to pull you up higher. Oh, God. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. We need 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Make sure you have the right paddle if you have a KitchenAid. Right, that's 3/4 regular sugar. Now we need dark brown sugar for this. They say it gives it a better flavor. Well, that would be because of the molasses, and you're going to put 2/3 in the mixer. Remember to pack it in your dry measuring cups. I mean, well, they're cups, but they're flat. I think you can buy them at a supermarket. I'm not sure. I've had mine for a while, so I'm not sure where my husband picked them up. That's 1/3. Whenever you use light or dark brown sugar, you're going to have to pack it into the measuring cup. That's how it's measured. If you don't do that, you're not going to get the right measurement. I need a little more in there. All right, we got 2/3 of that. Now what do you want? All right. Okay, we are going to, oh, come on, butter, be nice. Okay, I'm going to have to leave it back through. What we're doing is we're creaming the butter and sugar together, and it's actually going to help give your cookies a very light texture. If you don't cream them properly together, there is a problem. Okay, butter, you got to come out of this. See, when I do it by hand, I know what I'm doing. And it's easier, but the butter's going to act up like this. it does by mixing the butter and the sugar together, it catches little air pockets. Good afternoon. Look, I'm gonna have to turn you up while this is working. Dave, Happy, Derek, Edwin. That's why if I'm watching a Super Bowl or something special, I'll make lovely side dishes with cheeses, maybe with some dates, crackers or bread that I toast very thin. And I'll make deviled ham. You can make different kinds of deviled eggs. You can make, there's so much you can do to make fruit. Cocktails. That's how we will end up doing something like that. I will, Catherine. Now, let's see if you can see this. I don't know if you can see this, but I want you to see. We have creamed this. You take a look. Do you see how it looks? Let's see if I bring it down. Can you see it better? That's what you want it to look like this. This is creamed. All right, now we're going to have to turn it down. You want it free of lumps. What? I'm hearing things. I don't know what's going on. Okay. You won't have any lumps in the butter or the sugar. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on now and on low. And we are going to add eggs. And how many eggs are we going to add? 2 eggs. We'll need a spatula to go with this. And the vanilla, we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're going to work this in together. You have to do this because it sticks against the walls. Come on, sugar, get off. We've got to work you in with the eggs. Okay. I know, we're going to wait till it's completely mixed. We're making vanilla chip chocolate cookies. Yeah, but what I'm using is I am using white chocolate instead of the other chocolate. And then I said, I wonder how butterscotch would be. Butterscotch chip, chocolate chip cookies. I go there. I think of things like that. Just to be different, you know? Because I hate making the same recipe, the same flavors. If I can blend them up with other ideas, you know, I'll do it. That'll keep you from sticking to it. This is actually beating air into it. No, I have no plans for Valentine's Day. One of my sons says he wants to get me flowers, but nothing special on Valentine's Day. The person is supposed to say I love you, He's not here. Neither one of them are. They both are dead. So Valentine's Day doesn't really exist for me anymore. All right. Now we're going to start adding the flour and the chips and the nuts and everything. You're going to hear it work every time when I start adding these in. Those are the chips you're hearing. Now see, even with adding that little bit of whole wheat, you can see the flour is still white. But we've picked up the nutritional value of it. People find it hard to believe, but a woman's job in the kitchen is much more important than any job you could think of. Because when you think about it, we're feeding the next generation that's going to care for this country and have to defend us, the women and the country. We've got soldiers that are sick, and the health is going down. We have new diseases because of what they've done. So we have to get in here because the country is the foundation. The men are sick, they can't fight, they can't do anything, and they can't defend us. So you make sure your family's healthy all the time. As healthy as you can make them. I have 2 sons. This country goes to war. I could lose both of them. The men depend upon weaponry. My husband said, you get down to that hand-to-hand combat, Sandy, you're fighting for your very life. And he had to do that. He was Special Forces, Force Recon. So it's very important for us. You think it's important that you make money. Oh, and you have an air conditioner, and you go out and eat and party and do what you want and everything else. But when push comes to shove, if those children have that many mental problems and physical problems, how are they going to defend the country? So you say, well, we'll just use the bomb. That's all. Well, we could use that. But then you're going to destroy the land. And after all that devastation, where are you going to go? You see? Well, let's taste it. Hey, that's good. That's very good. I'll be there in a minute. I'm just washing my hands up. That's really, really good. You will not be disappointed in this recipe. God, that batter is good. Oh, I know the cookies are going to be fantastic. So, the young man who wanted chocolate chip, I can't make chocolate chip, but I can make vanilla chip. I'm getting things out right now for the cookies. Okay, got that for the cookies. You're going to need 2 spoons, teaspoons, not measuring spoons. I'm talking about 2 regular teaspoons. Oh. All right, you got the wax paper on your cookie sheet. You're going to use heaping teaspoons. For those of you that are trying to make cookies and are having some problems, I will show you. All right, you have it. I have a heaping teaspoon. Slide it off like that. It's as simple as that. Oh wait, the first time I did it, my mother said, "It's real easy." Yeah, Mommy, right. Can you imagine? I made the size they told me to make. Nah, it wouldn't work. I already listened to them once and that didn't work. These should be big cookies though. Now you're not going to get them the same size. Don't worry about it. Don't panic about it. All right. How long do you want these things to cook? I should not have to do what they want me to. I don't. She's using my way I'm using. After the hour. So it should be 8 after the hour. 86. Now we'll do 16. I'm doing my clocking in my head. Hi, Lazy. Tutti. Jeremy, it's good evening to you. It's good afternoon to us. I'm making cookies. Cookies. Thank you for the gift. Yeah, they're cookies. We're having vanilla chip. No, a white chocolate chip cookie. Since I made this up, I'm trying to think of a title for this, and I think that'll be the title that I'll use. Okay. While you're making the cookies, make sure you scrape down on the side, or you'll just have, you'll miss the vanilla, the white chocolate. Let's see, let's call them white chip chocolate cookies. Okay, this is not going to work. So see, you don't handle these cookies, but you will need a spatula. to get them off after they sit a bit. Now, when the first batch is done, we have to let it sit on the cookie sheet just a bit for it to settle, because if you don't, they're going to be in a dough state, and that's not what we want to do. We want to make sure that they have time to set a bit, so we take them up to move them to the rack. Okay, we have to wait till 8 after, because these take longer. They say anywhere from 14 to 17 minutes, 18 minutes, I think. What was it? 14 to 17 minutes. Okay. Who's Taylor Swift? You're welcome, Dave. Edward, I don't know who Taylor Swift is. I'm sorry. Natalie, hi, lazy potato. That's cute. This is Natalie. Oh, okay. All right. So they're going to be cooking, and I'm going to be here for about an hour, hour and a half. As you can see, I've got a lot of dough to work with. But I will definitely let them cool, and we'll try one and see if they come out. The batter tastes good, but we'll find out if the rest is. No, don't know her. Lazy, they're for my family. And if they're really good, I'm going to give some to my girlfriend. But if this works, I'm going to try to make butterscotch as well. I'm not going to let that get away from me. This is when it gets quiet, in between the cookie time. I know, yes, Dave, I know Elvis. I had a girlfriend who loved him. Every day we'd play jacks. All afternoon I heard Elvis. She didn't like harpsichord music, and she didn't like church music, but she loved Elvis Presley. And she was from Hawaii. Her family, her father got transferred to Chase Field. So she was in town, I think, about 4 years. She was just a little older than Linda and I. Hi, Rag. Commander. Hi. Dave? Elvis fan, yeah, I answered you. I got it. We just have to wait for the cookies to see how they're going to come out. But I can tell you the dough is delicious. I know some of you are saying, you're not supposed to eat that. It's got raw egg in it. I grew up doing that, okay? My mother let my brothers and I lick the beaters and all. So there was no waste in the house, believe you me. We used everything. Butterscotch. Well, we could try to make butterscotch chip chocolate cookies. I just get the ideas and they just start coming through. Butterscotch, you know. I'd go there. I always go there, you know. Commander, oh, I always taste the batter. Yeah, it was raw on the beaters, and my brothers and I would lick the beaters and the spatula. And also when I make cookies and I'm trying something, I'll try the batter just raw, just to taste if I got the flavors right. Hi, Amjad, I think I said that. We have a heat spell. We're in the 30s. So, yeah, we did things. We drank out of hoses. They say you can't drink out of hoses. It didn't kill us. We drank out of the hoses. The whippings didn't kill us either, you know. Oh, Arm, it's raining in California. What part? My girlfriend's in, what part was she, oh, I can't remember offhand, but she's in California. She works at the VA hospital up there in California. But right here we have melting snow. And what's funny is when you hit the top of the snow, it's ice because it gets so cold at night it freezes. That's why all my girlfriends are making fun over a heat wave. After being 14 below zero, believe you me, 30 feels quite warm. Bay Area, okay. What, Pretty? Some of this moves faster than I can read it. What was your question? Amjad, quick question. When I make dough and I end with sticky, clumpy dough, what can I do? It shouldn't be. Hi, Fatty Cakes. You didn't beat the butter and sugar properly. You saw how it was in the mixer? You have to beat it to get it to that point. If you have lumps, you're not beating and mixing it thoroughly. In Massachusetts, you're right ahead, right above me. I'm in New York. No, you can't have it sticky. No, clumps. You have clumps and it hasn't, you didn't mix it enough. That's the problem. So this, you saw how I did it. Take a look at the video after we're done and check it again and see. Pretty, I asked you to ask me again because it rolled too fast. I didn't get all the questions. You have to realize sometimes a whole lot of people come on and I'm starting to read and it shoots you up and I don't have time to catch it. 2:03, we got 5 minutes. Not that I know of. Pretty, I think it rolled by real fast because I missed about 5 or 6 of them going very, very fast. So that's the problem. So if I don't get your question, it's only because so many people came in and some of them shoot so fast. Then it goes boom, 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 and I'm trying, slow down, I need to read. But it doesn't let me read. So we have to do it that way. So if I miss it, sometimes you have to ask the question more than once. No, I'm not following the case of Nancy Guthrie case. I've never heard of it. 2:04. About 3-4 more minutes. Why? What has Nancy Guthrie done? She wasn't the woman who was. No, that wasn't her. I don't think that was her. I might have heard her story, but I didn't read her name. She was abducted where? Good night, Edwin. Pretty, where was she abducted? In the woods? Or are you talking about illegals in the country? Was she an illegal? Yes, it is, Sean. From her home in Arizona. What did she do? Pretty, you're not answering the question. Was she an illegal in this country? Because you know, if you know your Constitution and those bills, you have to know point blank if you come into the country illegal. So then what happened? Okay, Edwin. No. What did she do? Interfere with ICE? My favorite recipe. Oh, I couldn't answer that right now. I'm sort of a little. You didn't explain it to me. Say no. Yes, I used a mixer elevator. I put it over there. I've got to clean it. 1 more minute and I'm going to check them and we'll see how they are. Yeah, I have a KitchenAid mixer. I just took it back over there. Oh, okay. we're going to find out if these cookies are good. Well, I'm going to put a lot less dough on them. I'm going to make a smaller cookie. These are too big. I don't like them this big. And I put less than they told me to put on. We'll change it and make smaller cookies. Here they are. Oh, she's in Orion. I don't care. Hi, Natalie. Okay. So they want heaping tablespoons. I put heaping teaspoons, and we're going to cut it way back because I don't like my cookies this big. Take cookies off cookie sheets. You need a very thin spatula. Yes, I'm making them. Yeah, they're big. I don't like them like this. I like my cookies smaller. That's still too wet. Now I have to leave them on the cookie sheet to let them set. If you touch them, you can see that they are too moist in the center and they will fall apart. So we've got to let them dry up some from the air. So the next cookies, I'm going to try to make half that size. But this is the first batches. All right, put them in at 7. 5. All right, let's see, 3, 4, 14 to 8 at 22. Okay, we'll try 22. 14. So at 22, we will take them out of the oven. You can see they're starting to shrink now. You can actually see them caving in like this, and the chocolate will sit up. That's where you're at. Hi, Willie. These can come off. Hey, you said put it on wax paper. This might not come off as easy as I think. I've never made this recipe. I have made chocolate chips. I don't know about this recipe. She put a lot of butter in it. I'm going to try one of these. That's why I took that off. The rest of them can sit here a little longer, but I want to try that cookie, but I can't. We all get like that, Fit. Hi, you. Hey, Willie. Okay, the cookies are not going to look like this, the rest of them. Do not use heaping teaspoons. They spread out wrong. Make them more condensed. Don't worry, I go through this all the time. You can see they did not burn. That's why you pick it up. I want to look. They're going to be moist. They're not going to. They'll be a little bit crunchy and chewy. What I don't like is how big they are. I'm really upset about that. should be ready to come up. It might not work with wax paper. Why don't you just let me do it my way? See, the wax paper, what I don't like about this wax paper, it's holding moisture. Which is going to make these cookies hard to get off. And that I don't like. But yeah, I know cookies have to sit on it for a minute or two before you take them off. This is when you make a recipe and it doesn't quite come out the way you want it to. So these, I don't like these. Why can't I just put them in a plate? So the first dozen, because I got 6 on each, are going to look like this. And then after that, I'm going my way. They're not supposed to stick like that either. Yeah, you see? Oh, thank you, New. It might be definitely making the cookies smaller and see how they come out. And we'll see if they come out better. I've had lots of cookies that use 2 sticks of butter. That this doesn't make sense. I'm working on it. I'm going to make them smaller and see if they stay more contained. I know the wheat flour will hold it more together. That's why I could use it. Well, these should be a lot smaller. And she said these are great. Yeah, right. I found 2 or 3 recipes in this cookbook that I do not like. But then it has other ones that I just love. But you don't know unless you actually try all of them. I do like this idea. But cookies almost act like lace cookies. So this is a lace cookie batter. I'll have to go into my cookbooks and find another batter and put it in. Because it's so thin the way it's acting. I'll show you. See how it is on the bottom? And almost like holes through this? This is almost like a lace cookie. Cookies, they make some cookie recipes. You can hold up to the light and you can see through them. They call them lace and they have little holes through them. My girlfriend gave me a cookie recipe. It's acting a lot like this. And she had, what was it? Dried cranberries, I think. And something else. But the cookies can't hold it. When you have a thin batter like this, though, it doesn't look thin. When you bake it, you put very little on and it spreads out really thin.
And when you hold it up, you can see through the cookie, and that's why they call them lace cookies. Yeah, they taste good. But you can't see it, but I can. I can hold this up to the light, and I actually see holes through it. I don't know if you can, but see how it's acting like here and here? That's where it's getting ready to become, it's acting. As soon as you hold the edge, it falls like this. This is definitely a sign of lace cookies. And she messed this, she really messed this up. And if that's the case, I cannot put the cookies away because they'll stick to each other. I'll have to leave them out, but no covering, no nothing, just so we'll be able to eat them. Hello, Ty. M. Shane. You. Yes, I have. Pratt. Thank you. Thank you very much. They're acting like lace. They really are. I can taste it. That means I'm gonna have a problem through this whole batter. See? It falls apart. That's a sign of it. I got the flavor down. I have another, I'm gonna move into another cookie batter and use the white chocolate and the walnuts. We could try it, Sandy. Well, since I can't change this batter, I'm going to add something to this batter. I don't even know if it's going to work, because I'm going to mess this up royally. But this is definitely lace cookies. Whenever you make lace cookie, it's you can't add anything. You just can't. Lace can't hold it. This is when people really mess up. You don't know what they're doing. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. Okay. I'm going to try to use quick Quaker cooking oats, oatmeal cookies, so I should be able to pull this off. I'm putting in about 1/4 of a cup, because I'm trying to save these cookies. I'm just going to have a mess on my hands. You better not tell me 8 or 10. I got 2 minutes and I'm mixing this right. Okay. I can salvage this. The reason I'm using oats is a binder. That's why oatmeal raisin cookies, they don't spread out thin. The oats hold them together. That's what I'm hoping the oats will take the butter as it melts. And the sugar will latch onto it, just to save the rest of the batter. Okay. We'll see if that works. So see, I try not to hide everything from you. There are mistakes that are made into the kitchen according to recipes that you get, and then some things flop and it's not you. But if you don't know how to correct it, you're in problem. I added 1/4 of a cup of quick oat cereal, quick Quaker oats, and I'm hoping that that will bind more of the liquid together to hold them more together, because that's why they're falling apart. There's not enough there to hold it together. She should have added more flour or oats. I'm using oats. It's easier for me to mix real quick. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. You added about 1/4 of a cup of oats to what's left in here. I might have to add more, but I'm hoping that'll be enough. If it doesn't work, this batch is gone. But am I going to give up? No, you'll see me back at it doing again. That's what I do. You've got to practice, and if you make a mistake or the recipe is wrong, I didn't make a mistake. I followed the recipe, so I can literally say, this recipe, you know what? Why not? Why not, Sandra? Put it back in here and mix this up too and see if we can save this as well. Okay? And I don't like that it's sticking completely to this wax paper either. That's bothering me as well. Okay. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard of lace cookies. You usually have to go to a pastry store unless you have the recipes. But what people do is they cut back on that flour and increase that butter, and then you have nothing binding or holding it together. Okay. These did the same thing. You spread out with this batch. We're going to check. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to work better. Okay. This holds a little better than it'll tell me what I have to do next time I make these. Added that in. That should be better. If it's not, I'm just going to say, listen, this doesn't work. I'm going back to the drawing board. So you don't have to add a lot of oats, but oats can sometimes bind things together. I threw out a whole batch one time. I was so angry. And I was given a recipe, and there wasn't enough to hold it together, and it was more like eating raw dough than a brownie. It was weird. And see, the only thing I changed on this whole recipe was add a little bit of whole wheat flour, and I added white chocolate in place of the chocolate. So I knew that I didn't do enough to affect it the way it reacted. Now I left these in a little longer. Let's see if these come apart. Then the cooking time would be off. 39. You're not going to come off. I'm just about totally frustrated with these cookies. Our next cookies should be smaller or work out better than this. If I see improvement on the next batch, then I know what I have to do. If I don't see any improvement, that's going to be bad. Okay, now can you see through this cookie? You see that? That tells you that this is a lace cookie. It should never have white chocolate or nuts in it. It should only be flavoring. That's how you know. Yeah, I make my own macaroni and cheese. Collard greens, I've already showed you how I make collard greens. Potato salad, I haven't found a really good potato salad that I like, but I did find a lobster and potato salad that I want to try. Okay. I haven't tried an Amish potato salad. But we're going to see how these, if these don't come out, I can see me throwing every cookie in here into the trash. If I can't seem to get something to hold these together, it does not make sense. And then I will go back to the drawing board. Definitely mark no show on this one. And this is not a recipe I would want to repeat from her cookbook, not this one. My girlfriend got me a cookbook one time. Oh my God, I tried 10 recipes and they all were shitty. I sat there and I trashed that cookbook. I said, I do not need this cookbook. You know, I don't know how it got out into the market. But I notice everything's to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. They want everything done in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. Maybe mail should take 6 weeks to get packages and stuff. Then you'd appreciate it more. Because we learned patience. We had to. I'm going to use my finger. Hope these do not spread as much. It does have some oats in it to absorb the moisture. Let's see for the whole batch. If this semi works, I might have to add a half a cup of it in here. I don't know Amish potato salad. Well, they grow their own food in Canada. Of course it'd be good. Yeah. happy with these cookies. But I'm going to work on it. Okay, well, anyway, you now know what lace cookies are. You can't pack them next to each other or anything else. These are cookies that would definitely have each little pocket for itself because they actually, the weight of them just crumbles them all together. I gave them up to 2017. Out of a house it was on from, no, I didn't see that. Nancy. Never heard of it. I quit watching TV after a while. I don't usually watch television during the day. I'll have my phone with me with articles on it, and I'll listen to them while I'm cleaning and moving around the house. But actually watching television, no. I don't even know a lot of the new chefs. Does that tell you? Hi, Gina. Waiting for these cookies. They look like they're holding together better. So I might have to take this recipe and mark a half a cup of instant oats, which might contain it more. An attempt to we're making white chocolate chip cookies, but the batter is acting like a lace batter and it's not working, so I added about a fourth of a cup of instant oats and I mixed it with the rest of the batter here. I just checked the cookies there. They're not spreading out like as bad as they were, so maybe this recipe needs about a half a cup or so of instant oats. And that's what we're working on, trying to adjust this now at this point. Oh, they sound delicious and they do taste good, but because the batter is lace, and when you make lace cookies, you can't put anything in the lace cookies, and that's the problem. Somebody took a recipe and undid it. And so now I'm going to play catch up trying to figure out how to fix this. Thank you for the flower, Gina. It's beautiful. So I'm a little disappointed, but I think maybe the oats will do it. It looks like it from what I saw in the oven, though they're still cooking. I did check. I shouldn't have, which is a bad thing to do, but I wanted to see if it'll work. I'm now checking. I have to check the time because it's going to throw the time off a bit. Oh, God. Now, if there's only one of you, you can take these recipes and cut them in half. Amy, what's 136? Oh, your the time, standard time, your central, it's 136 for you. We're fixing a cookie recipe right now. So that's what we're working on right now, because this is, the dough is a lace dough, and they put nuts, and I put white chocolate in it. They used chocolate. It didn't come out, so we're trying to see if the oats, the quick oats that I used, instant oats, will help hold it together. So that's what we're working on right now. If we can do that, we can save the cookies. Other than that, the video will be cut off and it will be a no-show on this one. Gina, I agree with you. Why don't they just leave? But that's okay. They want to stick around, knock themselves out. 37. I'm just hoping the next batch comes out better. And we'll find out. So now you know what people go through. Have I planned? I might. Tomorrow is Thursday. I have leftovers for Friday. I haven't decided yet. I wish I could. We tried a recipe, white chocolate chip cookies, but the recipe is one for lace cookies. And when you make lace cookies, you cannot put fruit or nuts in it. And they did it. So the cookies are failing. So what I've done is I took some quick oats and I stirred it in to bind it together and hope that this will hold it. I don't know why they bother, sorry. It doesn't make any sense why they even try. No, well, a little. They're holding better together. They're not runny. So I'm going to try making this again, but it'll be another day. But it didn't work, but I do know I have to add oats to this. So I might go to my oatmeal cookie recipe that I have, remove the stuff in that, change it around, and remake this. Then I'll know they'll hold together better. People have to talk like that. God, I wish sometimes. The government should never have gotten involved in the family. I'd love to see these so-called big ones when they were younger having their parents tear into their hide. But we will ignore them and we will keep on moving forward to maybe bettering society. Hi, Slimy. I will. Well, at least the oats for binding. Now they're coming out. But they need more oats. The oats are holding them. See, I'll turn you down. So we can see that they have more of an edging on them here compared to these. You see the difference? So it needs more of a binder. That's all they need. The flavor is there, but we need the oats. So for the whole recipe, I would put in a half a cup of oats with this recipe. When you put the flour in, make sure you have a cup of oats with it with everything else. And they should come out very, very nice. Yeah, half a cup would do it. Yeah. Because we don't want it to be like oats, but we're going to use the oats just enough to bind it together. Yeah, it's coming out better now. So that's what we need. We actually need uh, the oats in it. Use instant oats. That's what I used. I just grabbed that. And I figured the instant the butter will melt and get those soft in a hurry so the oats wouldn't stand out too much. That's why I did it. Doc, I can't. Well, Stang, you must have had a very miserable life growing up and never had the joy of homemade cookies. And I feel sorry for you. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, they're cooling better, more solid. And I didn't add a lot. So you can imagine a half a cup should do very well for this whole batch. Yeah, 55. So I'm happy with them. Now I am. So I'm going to go ahead and continue doing what I'm doing. But if you see the whole video, you know if you're going to use this recipe, do add, and I'll repeat it again, a half a cup of quick cooking oats, or quick oats. All right? Oh, it's still too hot to pick them up. All right, listen, I'm going to let you go. All right. The way you talk, staying off the grid 3844, you think you're a man? Just because you have something between your legs that says what sex you are doesn't make you a man. A man is much different than that. Okay? So you take care, everyone. And I am going to leave and finish cooking these cookies, but at least we now. I'm not going outside. What do you mean? You too, Dave. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. I haven't decided. I would have told you what we're having tomorrow, but I haven't even made up my mind what I want to make tomorrow, okay? So take care. Enjoy your evening, all right? And be safe if you have to go home. Be careful out on the road, okay? Bye-bye.